Albert. I'm the sales event manager for the Parkview Room and a very good friend of Coreen and Michael Gaffney. I'm very honored that Coreen chose this location tonight. I'm so proud to host this for Coreen. I've known her for a few years, and she and Mike and my spouse, met back in the beginning of 2014. That's when I was managing Salisbury Mansion for the Worcester Historical Museum. And at that time, Coreen expressed an extreme interest in the history of Worcester. And she volunteered. Here she was, an executive for Hanover Insurance. She volunteered to be a docent for me and give tours of Salisbury Mansion. I think a few folks from tonight had been on some of her tours. In any case, she took a class and gave tours for nearly a year and a half of Salisbury Mansion. So I was very impressed by what she was willing to learn about the city. And if you are inquiring and want to get to know a candidate, ask them how much they know its city, its history, and its foundation. So, well, join me tonight in welcoming Coreen Gaffney.
Thank you very much, Harry. That was a wonderful introduction. I really appreciate it. And I would like to thank everybody who came here tonight. I actually didn't expect this big of a turnout, so I'm really excited that so many of you took time out of your valuable lives to spend it here with me for a little while. I hope you're enjoying the food and you're enjoying your conversation with each other. It looks like everyone's getting along, which is really nice. And it's great to see new faces, and it's also great to see faces that I've known for a while. I won't say old faces. But faces, faces that I've known for a while, so thank you so much for coming. I also do want to acknowledge some of the folks in the audience who are elected officials who are here. We have State Rep Kay Campanelli, who actually part of her district is in District 4. So I really appreciate her coming here and supporting me as I kick off my campaign. We have Jen Casey, who's our governor's counselor. And if you want to know more about me, and we also have Stephanie Fabman, who's here, and she is a registered voter. We have Donna Calorio here. She's a member of the school committee. And on the way over here, I actually read the speech to Michael, and he's like, "You didn't introduce me." I was like, oops, I felt like I was on the Academy Awards, and I was like the one person I forgot. So Michael Gaffney, who's vice chair of the so I'm going to try to make this short yet informative so that people can go on enjoying conversation with each other, because that's really what all this should be about. I've also presented at conferences about catastrophe responses and insurance carriers and building a service culture. So I could bore you for hours, but I won't do that. I was also a trainer, so I know I have a very limited amount of time to capture your attention before you start to zone out and think about what you're doing after this. So I'll start off by giving a little bit of background about myself. As far as education, I have a Bachelor of Science in History. Thus my interest in history, from Northeastern. I also have a Master of Science in Insurance Management from Boston University. And I achieved both of those degrees while I was working full-time, so I do know how to make things work and have a lot on my plate at the same time. So I do think that it would be easy for me to balance being a city councilor with my day job. I also recently completed a strategic leadership lab at MIT. You're probably sitting there going, what is that? And really what it is they brought in a bunch of corporate executives, and it's a program that focuses on innovation and leadership and strategic thinking, and really how to approach things differently so that you can bring out the best in people and the best in your environment. And I think that would lend very much the work that I could do on City Council, specifically in District 4. And for work, I'm currently an assistant vice president, as Harry mentioned, I'm an assistant vice president in a corporate environment in Hanover. I try to avoid saying that because, it's what I do and it's who I work for, but I don't necessarily want it to, I guess, make anybody think, oh, well, it's Hanover Insurance, a big corporation or something like that. It's really, it's one of those things where they're a very local, it's kind of like Worcester, it's a big city, but it's a small company, like Hanover's a big company, but a small company at the same time. And so I've run operations of teams of over 100 people. I balance multi-million-dollar budgets. I like data, I like numbers. I know how to do trend analysis, which is really helpful with looking at a city budget. In recent talks that Michael and I have had, I've actually helped him figure some of that stuff out for some of the things that he's been working on and trying to reduce tax increases. Well, I'm the one that created the spreadsheet.
I said a sheet.
Oh, okay.
I said I figured she was the brains.
There you go. And as far as civic engagement, I have been involved in the city in a lot of volunteer capacities. Being a docent at Salisbury Mansion was one of those. But also I was on the Citizen Advisory Council from 2011 to 2017. In that time, I actually used my project management background to help develop a project plan around recruiting for boards and commission vacancies. So we were looking to increase both the pool of candidates and increase the diversity of those serving on boards and commissions in the city. We were able to achieve both those goals, and I just want to mention Ted Costas, who's here. He was part of that team as well. And in my final 2 years, I acted as chair of the Citizen Advisory Council, and my primary focus was to make the selection process as easy as possible for everyone. It's daunting standing here in front of all of you. I don't know if you can imagine sitting in a chair in front of 11 people and having them all interview you as a panel in front of people who are sitting behind you on camera. So it can be a daunting experience for anyone who comes forward, but there are vital roles that need to be filled, so we want to make sure we created a welcoming environment for everybody coming forward and they felt comfortable. And I was happy to say that I did achieve that, and that was acknowledged by the city manager's office when I ended my tenure. They sent me an email expressing that I created a welcoming environment, and they really hoped that the council going forward was going to be able to continue that. Another group that I'm part of is Park Spirit. Brittany Legacy, who's president, is here as well. And it's a small nonprofit group within the city that advocates for its many parks, and we do have 60 of those. And so we offer free events in the parks yearly. And I'm happy to report that not only will District 4's Elm Park have its concerts as usual, but we're going to be expanding that concert series to include University Park. So there's going to be 3 concerts in University Park this summer into the early fall. And we all come to them. The one in September is going to be reggae. And I'm also chair of the advisory board for Project New Hope, which is a nonprofit offering much needed services to veterans, active military, and their families. I know Bill Moore, who's here over there in the back. We appreciate all the work you do with that group because it's really helpful. As I said to Michael in the car, I have no segue into this next section, so I'll just jump right in. Since I first expressed an interest in running, people have wondered why I'm running. Some wonder why, when they can see how hard it is, not only to run, but to actually be in office. It's not an easy thing to do. And then others have attempted to answer that on their own and make up their own rationale for why they think I'm running, based on some false assumptions. But I'm sure my reason is similar to many others who have run, whether they've won or lost. I believe that I can help my community. It's not about running against someone, it's running for something. It's not for personal agenda or personal gain. In my case, it's for my community. I want to use my background, my skills, and my life experience to make a positive impact on my home. District 4 is truly the heart of the city. It has a proud history, and I know the positives it offers and the challenges it faces. The positives are that we have a district full of hard-working people, devoted parents who want the best for their children, and we have youth with potential that needs to be nurtured. We also have a very large population of seniors, and can you imagine if all those groups of people worked together, what we could achieve? The challenges we need to address include improving safety on our streets and in our neighborhoods, addressing the opioid epidemic, looking at new ways to approach it, and cleaning up the streets and neighborhoods, and I mean that literally. There's litter everywhere in District 4. We need to get rid of the litter, and we need to find a way to keep it clean. So that means working with the city, the DPW, and the community, so that we can make sure that we say District 4 is not the place you come to dump stuff. District 4 should be a shining example of what people can do when they work together. And improving those key areas would significantly improve the quality of life for all the residents in the district. And I see the district's potential, living there every day. I can see it's got so much to offer. And I really believe that I can help that potential be realized. And that's why I'm here. Thank you.